do passwords and stuff. Hey, they've got a vending on the bottom of you guys.
Wow. Logged in, but for your reference, it's the wall space. In video 3D, capital N at the beginning, capital D.
Is it okay if we put a Steam key and then download that? If you can generate a Steam key, then we'll put it.
Yeah, we're happy to give one to you guys for sure.
The one drawback is it's pulled over here, but the one benefit is that it's pulled over.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How are you, man?
Yeah, good. I'm busy.
Yeah? What sort of stuff that kind of just recently got
Yeah, everything. Well, we just got back from Japan.
okay.
Crazy adventure
in Japan?
Yeah. Yeah, well, we have SVVR Japan.
Really? Alright, so you're big.
Yeah, actually,
That's cool.
Yeah, we're big in Japan and Korea. Bigger in Korea.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's where actually international. Yeah, we just got back from there. Yeah, we show slides about
So when you say you have an international, so this international presence is.
So it's different depending on the place. So Japan is a monthly meetup. Just like here.
Yeah,
You can,
Yes, I have another here.
it is awesome.
We just got this week. We've been sweating for a long time. And it's like, especially during the meetups. Yeah, so Japan is monthly meetups plus some other events for now. So it's kind of building the community organically. Like here in Korea, we're doing differently. We're doing a big event that will coincide with Jesus.
Yeah, they did Korea.
So we're partnering with those guys. All right, we are kind of some of them.
Cool.
Is there a shared Wi-Fi we can get on?
Yeah, it's SVVR Studio, and then the password is SVVR 2017 !
So the
Ryan,
follow-up
do you guys
question.
need access to manipulating this stuff?
Not right away, but it is
So,
streaming at the moment. So
After we give our presentation,
I'll try to keep it a little bit clear. I think this stuff.
short to so complex, strictly quantity of game controller.
Okay.
It's interactive. So it works best. It needs to be on the same Wi-Fi network. So how does it tell people that?
Yeah, that's
So
what
basically, it's going to be
it's a public.
Alright, so I'll just get a.
We're very strong. We have a mesh network here and fiber.
Actually, now that I think about it,
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, we've been pretty heads down. You know, we've been working on this. We founded the company late last year.
can I ask one other dumb question?
Sure.
Do you guys have a freestanding divider by any chance
On this and
that I could like split down the middle?
come out and
Otherwise, we can make the other freestanding divider we have.
So this works with.
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah,
Okay, that's
so
fine.
arcades are location based is where we want to start. Yeah, maybe more.
Oh,
It's
it's
better
yeah,
than
we
the
love
lab.
our Wi-Fi. It's
You
mesh,
got-
we're running a mesh Wi-Fi. It's
You have Monster, like, Alright, so you have Monster Wi-Fi.
yeah, I can show you in the other room the box.
Yeah, it's pretty much. How much does it cost?
Hey, So for the demo, I'll put on the headset, and then when he's doing the speech, I'll put on the headset, and you join in. If you give me the username and password, I'll log into my head. What's the laptop?
It's $300 on Amazon. I mean, this is what we're gonna tell. This is what we're gonna tell the arcades to buy.
Yes.
We're gonna tell them it has 3 emitters.
Hey, so when you get up and give your presentation,
sure.
just log into the app. I'm going to be in the headset, and I'm going to put the avatar on me, and then you two guys can meet me up.
Okay, so I should try to get in. So what's the, you try to find a piece of paper?
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm going to reload the room right before we start, so just make sure that it's registered. Because I want the fresh bar experience.
Well, dude, this is like on awesome wireless. It works awesome. That's cool. That's crafty. You're doing it yourself. Oh, that's it. Well, I just happy our shit. Okay, I'm gonna try my phone and just. So actually, I'm gonna.
Okay, here you go. Paper.
Oh, thank you. Marker. Great. Carl came through with awesomeness, so we can draw it really big so people can see it. Yeah. Dude, you know what I'm gonna do? At the beginning, the very first thing.
Yeah, first person. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but make sure you give it
Yeah.
not.
Oh, not Grace, what's the
But I'm gonna stay logged in so I can put the head off my app.
Yeah, of course. So it's SVVR Studio. All lowercase.
I'm already in. You want to pick me up?
Still figuring out. It's collecting all the different.
Yeah. Okay, you ready? Yes. Which one are you? Which colors? Oh, that was fun. Yeah. I'm sorry. Oh, that's really funny.
My head's in my avatar. totally need to make fun of. Alright, so it works. Alright, me.
We do not condone the use of alcohol and drugs.
Nope. So what I'm doing is something kind of like this, which is these are now on the table. Yeah, it's like $40, and it operates in basically every mode you could possibly want and networking.
I'll just put it big on my pitch. Maybe leave it up, but I'll leave it up.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
$40 an hour.
Yep, that's what I'm gonna do.
You said to are these connected by a cable? Yeah. When you pick up that one at 8, the cable doesn't reach it unless it's angled. I actually think this one here.
I'm not sure who else
That's true. Well, if you're already plugged in, it's going to be quite cheap. You don't have to worry about fusion ever. You can get like the tallest road you can, and it would never be a problem.
That's cool. Actually, this is so cool. Actually, full on audience participation.
So,
I mean, that is awesome. Can you video this thing, please? Like, video the entire. We have a tripod in the car. But damn, I didn't bring the thing. You do by hand. Yeah, we love it. I refuse to watch it because my UX designer never seemed to do that now. Watch it, you know, what do you think? You go, it's like, oh, sitting on a conference room. No, but I mean, this is like being a conference room because it's like our life, you know, it's like, yeah. I don't know.
Funny, but the latest, if you watch like the latest season, it's about going up against SVVR Meetup.
Oh.
Holding like a really fun, and it was like focusing on VR. And that's what people did. They had everyone on their phone down there. After it, everyone's here.
yeah, it's like
That's the latest season?
Yep.
Funny.
yeah, we're running an event online. You only need one day. You might have to try. You're probably going to have to trace through that.
See what's the latency like.
game window for the house. This is a well-made
They're also like
yeah, exactly. When I look
Are you actually spend money on it?
like $10. I spent $8 on Hearthstone and I played it for 3 years.
Yeah, me too. I spent like $50.
no, there's an option on Steam. You can check how much you spend on each game. I don't want to look. I don't want to look at it. It's just in-game.
I mean, I kind of calculated how much time I spent at Hearthstone.
Well, we're the guys who do the dailies to make the economy work, right? We're the suckers who the premium players that the people who pay for the deal they feel good about enjoying.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
All the different board companies. They do the forest. Yeah, I'm going to the, one game, one win. Well, the main chapter was
You should play with Nikki, like next time I see him or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, you play. He and the other angel are like, when I see them, they have to like.
I'm not really like it's interesting because like the gameplay is very solid.
Yeah, it's just he said it's any mesh Wi-Fi.
Like something that really stood out was like when you're on stage filming
It's just like hard.
what I like is
Oh yeah? This is the
Nobody would pick up.
I never played it.
the seminal module by the impossible module.
Oh, the whole time
yes, I heard Ready Player One, but I missed some connection that you just had. Because I had zero idea.
So first, have you played the
So past, like, I did Shadowrun and I
but you didn't play
not the third edition.
I made this because I played a lot of it.
That doesn't surprise
And then this module, I got
I never played D&D, but I want to read that last time. Oh, that's Damn. So, but you can grab other people. So in the game, like you grab on your boots, or you grab on your
Myself and Brian from SVVR are going to give, we're splitting a little talk in the beginning, and then all of things here. Cool. We're going to have a third speaker, but I don't know if he's coming. Okay. So, and then it'll go to community and demo. Awesome. So we do have a lot of demos this time, so. Awesome. It'll be good. All right, so we're going to start in like 2 minutes, probably about 10 minutes combined of me and Brian. Okay. And then it'll be you. So are you HDMI?
Yeah, it's got a
okay. Do you need audio in the presentation? If you do, you'll have to route it to the
just my voice.
Okay. No videos, I mean.
All right, everyone, we're going to start in 2 minutes. Please grab some food, find a seat. We'll start in 2 minutes.
Somewhere where there's like 3 seats. Maybe the next row down. Have you been to one of these before?
Yeah. I've been like number 19, but I haven't gone to that.
All right, everyone. We are about to begin. Welcome to... Hold on 1 second. Cancel that. 10 seconds. All right, welcome to SVVR Meetup number 42. This is our very first meetup with air conditioning. Yes! This monstrous beast over here that looks like a Volkswagen. But it's been getting increasingly hot in here, as people have noticed. So I'm just going to give a little quick reminder about SVVR, what we are, in case it's your first meetup. So we are an industry organization for VR professionals, and We're mission driven, and our mission is to accelerate the growth of a healthy and diverse virtual reality ecosystem. I just want to keep reiterating that. That means we like all approaches to VR, we like AR, we like all the ancillary technologies, and we like a diversity of people in the community, gender diversity, cultural diversity, diversity of platforms, approaches, everything like that. We want to see it. We want to see it all, because out of that mess will come beautiful things. And I also want to just quickly thank our partners. So Noidum has been a fantastic partner with us in 2017. They help us keep the space going, among other things. If you've been to our conference, you know the Project Alice is an amazing multi-user experience. They also make the Perception Neuron suit and the glove. I also want to thank NVIDIA, who's been keeping us supplied with demo machine loaders for at least 2 years now. They've been awesome. And HTC for keeping us in the vibes. And our partners in China, VR Core, which is an organization very much like SVVR, but in China. They're very content focused, but they're a group that runs classes and meetups and hackathons and all sorts of things. And they are awesome. And speaking of our partners, I'm going to give a little update on, we just got back from Japan. So, pretty much the whole team went. So, Noidum, who's one of our partners, has last year organized this Japan VR hackathon. This year they expanded it and made it an XR hackathon, and the Red Cross came in and sponsored it in a big way. And so it was a hackathon on humanitarian uses of VR and AR, which actually turned out to be pretty challenging for everyone involved. But yeah, the Red Cross was really the heroes here. They put up $40,000 in prize money, and then they actually upped it at the end, which I'll tell you about. So they've actually been using VR to run these simulations for training soldiers and helping people deal with, you know, real world situations mostly in war-torn areas. And it's pretty interesting. They've been using just game engines to do this stuff, but they wanted to see what else could be done with the technology. So, so we helped organize with Noidum and Panora this awesome hackathon. So we actually had, I think there were well over 100 people involved in Japan. We were at the Tokyo version, but there were actually a couple satellite hackathons happening simultaneously. It was your typical hackathon, but it was, you know, with a little bit of Japanese flavor, which made it awesome. And it was fun because it was everyone used all different hardware. People were open to use whatever they want. Microsoft came in, HTC. People were using a lot of HoloLenses. HoloLenses are really, really popular in Japan. The Noidum glove. So one thing we learned about hackathons in Japan is they get the best swag. So Unity had Unity branded wipes. Colopal was one of the sponsors. They had Colopal water. And our favorite swag was Unity noodles. We actually have some. And I believe in Japanese translated, I don't know where Nobu went, but it actually says something, there's a clever pun about bugs, made with no bugs. But it was an awesome hackathon. The Red Cross gave a lot of guidance to all the teams during the hackathon. Of course, at hackathons, people come up with crazy solutions for vibe interference. This, by the way, does not work at all. It was terrible because there's still holes everywhere. Of course, at hackathons, people pass out and die. I forget her name, but she's actually the HTC rep in Japan. And she had this awesome quilt shirt that she handmade with like every VR headset shirt all mixed together, and Daydream and HTC and everything. And we also ran into, just randomly there, if you were here 2 meetups ago when Binary spoke, they were showing this video of this great demo, and they actually had it there running. And they've actually been, Binary does depth tracking for your face, and they combine it with the Fove to do full face tracking, eye contact, everything. It was very cool. So yeah, the hackathon actually had teams from all over the world. It wasn't just Japanese teams. There was a team, this was a team from France who came out for the hackathon. One of the winning teams was actually from Mexico. And it was really hard judging. So this hackathon was over a full weekend, and then the next week we met to try the demos. So they had a full week to polish up the demos, which we had just done a hackathon right before we left, the HoloLens hackathon. And so trying it this way actually worked out really well. Anyone doing hackathons, I recommend that because people had a week to polish the experience, and everything worked at the end, which was nice. It's something that doesn't always happen. And so how do you use VR for humanitarian uses? It's actually pretty challenging. The winners were a project called Happy Children, and they had created an experience to help children, to help motivate children who had prosthetic limbs, you know, through their rehabilitation using virtual characters. So put them in a vibe and chase the bird to try to teach you, you know, motivate the kids to walk again. And they also had a really interesting application, pain management application using distraction. But there was another project which was also really good, and the judges had a really hard time. So this was, they called it sexual violence meter. And it was, you know, in different cultures, there's different levels of what is acceptable behavior, different norms. So this actually put you in the position of being a woman. It was a man who was getting kind of aggressive and a little close, and you had to basically indicate when you were uncomfortable. And it was actually very powerful to put you in that first person and to feel what it feels like to be in that situation. So the Red Cross loved them so much that they actually, on the spot, chipped in another $10,000 prize to give these guys a prize, which was just awesome. So, yeah, the Red Cross was amazing. So yeah, here's all the winning teams and the judges. It was a lot of fun. A lot of prizes were given out, and a lot of fun was had. And but that was not the only thing we did in Japan. We also met with the community at large and all the Japanese VR heroes, Goroman, and all these guys. So Brian's going to tell you a little bit about that.
Perfect. I'm always scared about PowerPoint. All right, so yes, we went to Japan, and it was great. We obviously first were able to meet with people that we've met before, so definitely Doraemon, good friend in the SVVR community. And so, to start off, let's finish slideshow. So, the day before any of the festivities happened,
Then you unplugged it.
PowerPoint stopped. There we go. So I was in my Airbnb, decided I'm going to watch some Japanese TV, and this, ironically, or coincidentally, was the first thing that came on. So obviously I did the first thing anyone would do and recorded it. And this just kind of shows a fraction of the energy that is the Japanese VR community. I mean, it's, you know, this segment was a good 15 minutes long, so it was great to watch. But yeah, as you can see, this guy's kind of on the swing, and he's in almost a roller coaster simulation, so to speak. But you know, they went through not only Vive, but other iterations of VR. So we did have a meetup with those guys again. It was great. Prior to that, and actually very well timed, there was a conference happening at the same time called Content Tokyo. And take, let's say, how can I compare this to? So take CES, multiply it by 10, and that's kind of like where you're at. So Content Tokyo was held at this location called, well, there's a fraction of the crowds there. This is just the light to get in. So Content Tokyo was held at this location called Tokyo Big Sight, and this picture does not do justice on how huge this hall is. Just to give you an idea, during Content Tokyo, there were 5 other conventions happening at the same time in this location. And Content Tokyo took up 2 halls. And just to give you a little bit more dramatic focus on how big this place is,
It's so big.
yeah. So I'm going to be using this throughout the whole presentation. So there was a place called the Advanced Content Technology Expo. So the interesting thing was VR kind of had its own section there, but there was definitely different VR sections interspersed throughout the whole conference. And I'm sorry to say, but I was so overwhelmed by how many people and content was there that I couldn't get as much as I wanted, but just give you a little taste of what I was able to capture. So obviously lots of different VR apparatus going on there. So this one was just an experience where it had a row of people hopping into the Vive. This one on the left, it was a video of somebody, in a punching bag, and it actually measured the metric on how many calories you would burn while you're punching this punching bag. And it actually measures it and gives a readout below. So it was put on this really huge display that was on the show floor. Another cool thing that I saw, just the standard OptiTrack demo where somebody had a wiffle bat and ran around and did some tracking stuff. They did have some drones, if you could see. They had some track drones that was kind of cool. Unfortunately, I think I had some technical issues while I was waiting. This I was not entirely sure what was going on here, but it looked like a pod that you would, almost like a sensory deprivation pod where you would hop in and just experience VR, presumably to just kind of seal yourself away for, I don't know how many years and come back and the rift is $50, I don't know. So this was interesting. I'll let it speak for itself. Unfortunately, I did not get a chance to try it. The line was right there, but I was dying to see what was going on in there. I have my guesses, but I'm not entirely sure yet. So this was basically the same day that we had our meetup with XVI, who graciously hosted us an event. So when I went to Japan, for those who were at my AMD talk, these were the guys that hosted my meetup when I went. So this was at a location called Tokyo VR Startups. Yeah. So a lot of good people, great people. More speed lines. So these people are fantastic. Top Fuji representing SVVR, fantastic. Yeah, these guys have plenty demos to show. Some of what we've seen before. So this one's pretty interesting. Relatively simple in its execution, but basically you would include 360 footage or pictures into these orbs, and then you would basically activate it, similar to how you activate things in the lab. And it just has this really cool effect that kind of fades out. It's almost similar to the portal effect. Very simple, but pretty effective. So the same creator it had this proof of concept idea, which was actually a really resourceful idea. So you're a mech in space and you're shooting at things. That's the basic definition of this experience. Nothing so far to that, no scoring, nothing. But what I found really interesting, so the first year that I visited them, this app was purely, it was a topographical map of Japan. And basically you were able to kind of go and explore the different valleys and nooks and whatnot. But he basically took that idea and he is making it a game. So I didn't have other footage, but basically you can actually go down like very low level, you can even go into the water, and it's very accurately mapped Japan based on topographical data, which is cool. And this is me playing Seiya. So a little bit about Seiya. The first year I went, he had a demo which used your face, but of course this is prior to the Oculus Touch. So now it's Touch enabled, and we actually have it for demo here. So you guys can give that a shot. So we have demo stations outside, and we also have a demo. I believe we could get one going here if we need to. But basically, the idea is it's like DDR for the touches. The cool thing about this experience, though, is if you see, you're using the touches to hit these stars, and you'll be sometimes you'll play along songs, and you'll see Japanese hiragana on the stars, and that's actually the lyrics to the song. It's really cool. And this is the guy, the creator of Sail. So, awesome guy. So yeah, overall, our trip there was great. It's always a pleasure hanging out with these guys. I just want to always reiterate how much energy there is there, and every time we're in their presence, they're just very welcoming, and you can just feel the passion behind their projects. So there was one question that was posed to me, and they kind of asked us, like, oh yeah, how are things back at home? And I did say, well, I think everybody's heads down in their work, focusing on getting the product experience out. But let's not forget what got us here in the first place, and that's the passion for this stuff. These guys just have it in spades. So, SVVR Japan, another fantastic trip. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Brian. In case you missed it earlier, we did start earlier this year, SVVR Japan, which meets monthly, just like we meet here. And they're 2-3 months into it, and yeah, they really bring a special energy to it. And one of the things we're really working hard on is connecting that community to this community. So that's why every month we're going to be bringing different demos from the Japanese VR meetups, which we stay up until 3 in the morning to attend remotely, and see what's cool, and then we're going to bring it here to the following meetup for you guys to try, and hopefully we'll do that vice versa as well. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
All right, here you go.
Hi, I'm Shin. Good to have you guys. Thank you, Carl. Thanks for having us down. So if you're daring, I would like to include you guys in our presentation. So if you go up to the App Store or Play and download Sofa VR, one word, right? We won't take away your phone, we won't blow it up or anything like that. It's a good place to start. Log in with Facebook, follow the directions, and then when you're ready, just punch in that code. So you can actually join in what we're doing. So while you're all doing that, I'm just going to go ahead and talk about what we're doing, and then we'll actually demo it here on stage with people from the audience, which I thought would be fun. So we think one of the problems with VR is that it's one person having the time of their life, and oftentimes a bunch of people sitting on the couch waiting their turn. They have various reasons why, but we think that's a problem. It's a UX problem. I think a lot about what the living room is going to be like when we're in there with our XR headsets with people in the household. So we hope that VR is part of it. But before we get to that living room, we think a good place to start is arcades. So I'd like you to think about the arcade experience in mind if you've ever been to any of those. We think there's a way to turn your phone into a game controller. We think there's a way to turn your phone into a much more engaging spectator experience as well, in arcades and at home. Finally, most people who do VR for the first time, which has got, for probably a lot of people in this room, has been a very long time ago, so you probably haven't had somebody take a picture of you, with an HMD on, with a bucket on your head. But that's not the case for a lot of people. It is their very first time that they've been in VR, so their friends, their family, mom, in this case, her little Tommy here, is taking a picture of them. Now, how can we make that picture better? We'll talk about some of those things that we're doing. So, whoa, is that someone from the audience? Dang, okay. So, we rotate the camera a little bit to the jukebox camera, so it's kind of like, yeah, there we go. There we go. So, so the game that you see up here right now is a game called Drunken Bar Fight, made by a buddy of mine, Keith Kirby. It is exactly what you think it is. It's a drunken bar fight. And what you do in the game is you get drunk. Leland, you gonna get drunk?
Yeah, give me a second.
You get drunk and then you fight. Okay, but what we think is cool here is that you know, I think it's much more cool to get drunk and fight with your friends. So as you can see, a number of things are happening here. So one, it's a VR game. Leland's in there punching people. The second thing is that Aaron and Jay and Brian are in there with him. So do 180 degrees. So that's that's Leland's face on there, and then the other people there that's their faces as well. Okay. And now I'm going to pop in, and I'm going to show you kind of like.
Oh, come on.
So he's getting his butt kicked right now. And thanks to the awesome, super awesome speed Wi-Fi going on here, I'm going to come to the game here. 7, 8, 6, 7. Okay.
Oh, Robert.
What? 7, 8, 6, 7. All right, so he's gonna continue to come into the game. All right, so there I am. I'm in the game. So, all right, so there's basically 3-on-1 asymmetric local multiplayer, otherwise known as a party game. Okay, so we've done a party game, which bridges the gap between what we think is the prevailing technology, your phone, and the emerging technology, which is all things XR. Okay. Finally, what I want to show you here is actually what we call Magic Window, which is actually not working right now, of course, the stage. Somebody in the audience, go ahead and hit the hamburger on the upper left-hand side of your phone and hit the camera. Maybe Jay or Chris or...
I did it.
There you go. Okay, so is that you?
Yeah, I think that's me.
Suzanne? All right, so Suzanne is now controlling the camera with her. Can you move your phone around? Gyro? No?
Maybe it's not me.
Yeah, it might not be you.
It says that it's
Yeah, it should be. There you go. So somebody else got it? Did somebody else have the camera control?
I knocked the camera person on the ground.
Oh, the camera person. Oh, of course you did. So, all right, so anyways, what it is that we've turned your phone into a spectator camera, okay, that allows you to create in VR user-generated content and share it to all your friends. So why do we care about this? We care about the developer being able to create awareness for themselves. We care about the VR arcade being able to create a great souvenir experience when they come out of it for the first time, whether whatever game that they're playing.
Oh yeah, somebody's got the camera right here.
I've got it.
Turn around.
So you got it. All right, cool. He's got the camera and he's kind of moving it around. This was working great earlier, but.
I tried to take a selfie, I think.
And then if you hit the record button, it'll record a video and send it to your camera roll. So we think there's a huge opportunity between the mobile experience and the VR experience. We also think there's a behavior pattern that goes outside of the sweaty, intense, 5 to 15 minutes that somebody spends in VR. Think about it. Mobile phone, what is it? It's super highly adopted, super high frequency of use, super low activation energy. Nothing has a lower activation energy than this device. Not going away anytime soon. XR, Magic Leap, all that we're talking about here, notwithstanding, not going around. This thing, exactly diametric. XR, this is an AR headset, this is a VR headset, this is everything else. It's a loss leader, it requires immense activation energy, you spend very little time in this thing, even those of us that are in the industry. So being able to bridge these two, being able to give you, share the afterglow of your VR experience that will propel you to anticipate the next time that you come into VR. And this applies, we think, to arcades and to the living room. So you're seeing one part of what we're doing right now. We built this in the last few months. We have been very heads down, as the guys have said. And we're very happy to actually, this is probably one of the first public debuts of Sofa VR. So you kind of saw it here first, right? This is one of the first times that we've shown it publicly. We've only been doing closed play testing and stuff. So the next thing that we're doing is that you're going to have ability to do an augmented snap. So I'll be able to actually snap a shot, and you'll have set pieces. In this case, bar fighters will be in the snapshot. And then finally, we're partnering up with a mixed reality partner that will have a hopefully have a non-green screen solution that your phone, your Sofa app will be getting a feed of MR, right? So what we hope at the end of the day is that in the near term, Sofa is the place that you go to share content that you've created in VR. All right, thank you. I'm happy to take any questions, and you guys can come and play after this. Thank you.
Let's do some questions. People probably have some questions. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't listen to anything. I was just too busy playing.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
That's right. I don't understand what to do with this phone.
Your player might have a green diamond over its head, and then you can move your player again.
Like it's moving.
Yeah, you're the.
So yeah, you move around like this, and then different buttons.
If I get knocked out, one of you knock me out, then you can switch characters.
Yeah, I mean, there's long list of caveats. You know, smart camera is one of them, but this is 3 months of just building the platform.
So right now, is this Unity only?
Yeah, this is Unity only. We're going to have an SDK ready for any number of creators out there to put into their experience. We hope that truly you can get it in a day and get it tested. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Go ahead.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, Sofa VR is this platform for sharing things. This is just one game that would be on Sofa VR.
You're absolutely right. I didn't want to bore you with slides, but yes.
Okay, so like we could theoretically play like Cover Junkers and record it. And
yes. Yes. Yeah. So the selfie avatars, as we're calling them, it's pretty straightforward, and that's a pretty easy thing that you can drop into Unity. The camera, you don't have to have another player. So can you hit the M button right now, and then somebody it's still silly that I can't get into the game, but somebody else just hit camera that is in the experience.
Okay, I just did. There
You did? Okay, now Grace, can you hit the M button over there?
Oh, I hit the M button.
Oh, you did? All right, see, there's the player with the camera. Right.
Yeah, that's me.
So, this game is just, it's kind of loaded to be, to work with Sofa, but there's the person with the camera recording the video in VR, right? So it's meta, right? Yeah, any other questions, guys?
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
There we go.
All right, awesome. I love that because it solves one of the problems, which is how do you share what you're doing in VR outside of VR? Well, have someone else do it. Our third presenter is not tonight. So we are going to have a lot of extra time for demos, including, for the first time at an SVVR Meetup, the Omni is up and running, and Nobu will be running the Omni all night. So for those of you who have not tried the Omni, you'll have your chance tonight. I also have an announcement, but first I wanted to open it up to community announcements. So anyone who has anything they want to talk about, please come on up. Here is your moment. Anyone? Anyone? Yes, all right. We've got two. Yeah, just come on up.
everybody. Some of you probably already know me. My name's Chris. I'm working on sort of talking about that like full spectrum of VR. It's sort of all the way on the other side. I've been working on a competitive multiplayer game called Light Strike Array. And today I have a local 1v1 demo set up. I'm going to squish both people into there. And if you're interested, be prepared for a deep, complex, and somewhat unusual atypical VR experience. I'll be over there taking questions, and I hope you enjoy it.
All right.
All right, thanks for coming out. Anyone else? Any other community announcements? All right. All right, this is the shortest community announcement slide. All right, come on up.
All of you.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Harmon. This is my first SVVR Meetup. I've been a member of the group for a while and just haven't found time, but recently quit my job. Tomorrow's my last day. In the VR sphere, so I'm quitting my job to work on a cryptocurrency startup, but I want to do VR as well, and I want to make a game that's a woodworking game where you actually do woodworking in VR, and if you were to replicate those exact same steps in real life, you would literally end up with that same object. So it's kind of like a woodworking training thing. So if anyone's interested in speaking to me about my ideas on that, I have a Vive, and I got a couple Vega GPUs, so really just starting off in the space. And I do know a little bit of Unity and a little bit of programming, or not a little bit of programming, I'm a software developer, so I know enough to do that. But yeah, not familiar with VR, so yeah. I was gonna say this to you guys like individually in network and everything afterwards, but I figured if there's any announcement, I'd just announce it. So if anyone's interested in a woodworking game, and I want to kind of make it like that's step one, but I would like to do like if anyone's seen the Primitive Technologies YouTube channel, like something like that. So it'll teach you how to like start a fire and do VR or something. I think that'd be really cool. So, yeah, thanks.
All right, last call for community announcements. Anyone? Yeah, you got something?
Really quick.
All right.
I was in Vegas for a couple of weeks for my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Everywhere.
Happy birthday, Mike.
Yes, yes. VR is everywhere. Like every experience or show now has a VR set of its own. And there's big VR arcades.
Awesome.
They're ready to do a lot of VR in Las Vegas. So commercial VR.
Awesome. We were wandering around Akihabara, I say that right, in Japan, and we found a VR store. Now, this wasn't a VR arcade. This was actually a store that sold Vives and like chairs and steering wheels, and it was just a VR hardware store. It was awesome.
And if you haven't seen the deluxe audio strap for the Vive yet, this literally just showed up in the mail today. I picked it up on my way here. If you want to look at it before you buy it, I've got one with me. You can look at it.
I love the audio strap. Highly recommended. All right, so as I mentioned, we actually have an announcement tonight as well. You know, one of the things for 2017 was the space, which you're in here. I don't need to show you pictures of it because you're here, but we got this space intending to, you know, be our event venue. We can do our meetups, we can do other events, a demo center. We can have all the equipment set up, and just generally build an industry hub for VR. But by popular request, we're actually adding a new feature to our space, which is going to dramatically change it.
As well as the AC?
As well as AC, but AC was preparation. We are opening up to co-working. So, yes, we're very excited about this. So we have dedicated desks available, floating desk, and virtual office. If you're interested in this, you know, we just got the AC installed. We're getting everything prepped, but dedicated desks will be upstairs. Most of you have not seen the upstairs, but if you want to see the upstairs, you have to co-work. Secret. It's a secret paradise up there. Yeah, if you're interested in co-working and you're in the VR space, we are keeping this to people in the VR space. We want it to be really an industry hub and really benefit from the network effect of awesome people working on awesome things. But if you're interested, see me or anyone on the team, Brian or Nana, and yeah, look forward to more about that. And then I just want to remind you all that we have We have 2 dedicated machines out there for the SVVR Japan demo. This month is Seiya, which I am a huge fan of, and I love it. We have the Omni here. We have the Sofa VR demo over there. We have Light Strike over here. We have this crazy monitor system set up into our alt space over here. If you have anything you want to demo, we will find space for you. So with that, it is demo time. Thank you all.
Have you posted on social media about the co-working?
No, we have not. This is our first announcement.
Okay. I just want to know when I do so I can retweet.
Thank you.
So that I know people might want to work on the space.
Yeah, we haven't added it to the page, so we'll probably do.
No, I haven't really done anything. I mean, they said they contacted me.
And we have AC machines, not just down here. It has AC.
I had to change their password. And now it's like, do I go back? Do you know that? I don't even know what it says.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't really use it.
I would have expected just making sure. Just making sure. Yeah. And it's good.
Cool. So like, what would you recommend? Like, you have told me about it.
Yeah, I don't know too much about it, but for the
Then they have both. I'm just saying they have both users. So you can work with them, or you can work for them, or you can so just an idea.
it's actually quite expensive. To do all of that, you know. Yeah, I've just right now, so that I can turn around to my events and be like, okay. We potentially, yeah, it's going to be feasible to want to turn here. We probably have some available, some centers available for people that want to stay for 2 to 5. I have all of the art here. I can borrow some more, and, you know, maybe try to make sure to change it up.
Okay, so explain them all.
Yeah. Can I borrow some vibes from you? We're just talking about a hackathon. I'm planning a hackathon. So I was like, yeah, maybe it's interesting to see you. Loan us some vibes. Okay. Good to know. We're going to do a real estate hackathon like later this year. Yeah, that's good for you. Yeah, we're just like basically it's just, you know, we have this and stuff. So you know, PR no more.
Where are you taking? Just over here.
Robots.
So there's a keyword robots in the you're going to need to get out of there.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a few. We have robots.
If you don't have a tool,
I'm taking snaps that we can actually release and
The other ones. Do you need more help?
no, yeah. It's fine.
just trying to do something.
Great seeing you introduce yourself.
It's always the same thing. Hopefully there's no like
Right now I'm basically just
I know I didn't
and that's not because of any of the other people that
So that's what we like to learning more every time. I handle the social media, but also like basically see what they're doing and see how it's trying to spotlight them. The one thing that they love is getting their own audience. I guess you can kind of see the same thing here. You have a bubble and expose it to your audience.
yeah, I feel like
Right. And what the interesting thing is, you know, overall, like the market's not together. It's with good time, kind of like a job. So, you know, whenever we interact.
the other day, earlier this week, it was basically you got like $100 gift card.
So there's still sort of that collaboration going on. Plus, you know, overall, everybody, me personally, if one gets me,
Without the phone, then you get all of the
you'll play something and it might not make sense to you, but you can tell that that was something that they created.
I mean, at one point it was that bad. I like hard ones.
So, you know, immediately after that, you try something like, okay, well, I'm not sure what's going on, but they love it, and it's great. And that's, you know, we're hoping to kind of bring that back. We're all kind of focusing on it's really important to see
and then you put them in 5 and you're like, oh my god.
Like, I can see where you're coming from. Like, some people might think, oh, you know, why?
Yeah, I mean, I remember my first VR experience.
You can still explore it without investing, aside from your hardware, investing money in machinery, or, you know, maybe even dollars. You don't want to do it.
You know, I did roller coaster. I went to some kind of like monster movie game where you were shooting and then it was like, alright. Yeah. It's so different. Slowly, we'll get everything. Yeah. I just heard yesterday he got somewhere. Now I gotta go hunt down the person that installed. Like I know this one is here or something. We have like a lot it's the most cheapy thing we can do.
So are you kind of drawn to the idea of like working kind of? I mean, aside from the fact that maybe you're a company or not, you can. Well, we find something. Oh, that is. Yeah.
It could be stuff like this.
I always I got a chance to record it. Yeah, because we've already kind of
Yeah, he's just here to VR Meetup.
It's free, so you can type in the box and check it out. It's pretty powerful. Like I got to mess with it and I've seen some really impressive stuff.
Go through it.
My Jeep had a VR rig in it.
There's a company in yeah, right. That's a good idea as well. So there's a company that's mixed reality, and they basically took, and I want to say it's perfect size for buying.
The brains.